Take it, John.
Okay.
In every life, some rain must fall, and you'll get wet as your sorrow calls. Oh, the sun will rise on a brand new morn. You'll be warm and dry and freshly born.
With support from Marshall County Community Foundation, Marshall County Tourism, Judith Robert and Tom Kapazinskis, and Nancy and Dan Schmelter, from historic downtown Plymouth, Indiana, where the Lincoln Highway and Michigan Road cross the banks of the beautiful Yellow River. It's the Wild Rose Moon Radio Hour. Woo! Tonight we have a new show inspired by the first tweets of not Twitter, but spring, directly from the robins and wrens of out our front door. Playing tonight in our specially outfitted stage, resembling a large goldfish bowl, will be Chicago troubadour and longtime Old Town School of Folk music teacher, Mark Dvorak. Tonight's show will also feature accompaniment from our music producer, John Baylor, a guitar piece by the executive producer of our Be Opened Mic and Moonlight web programs, Matthew Carter Scutchfield, and poetry by North Carolina writer Thomas Rain Crow, as read by me, your announcer, Jacob Moreno. And now, recorded live from the Wild Rose Moon Performing Arts Center, where the canes of the roses are beginning to extend and green up, awaiting their blossoms in June and hungering for bee traffic, here is the radical rascal of all things lunar, or lunatic, your radio hour host, George Schricker.
The river goes round, around the bend. The river goes round, round, round till the very end. And when it stops, oh, it starts again. It won't be long till the river goes round. It won't be long till the river goes round and round and round, my friends. Well, thank you so much. It's so great to be back in studio. Marshall County has dropped to blue right now, so we're so lucky for that. And the COVID cases have diminished drastically, and so we're all here in mask and behind glass and doing our thing. And Jacob Moreno, you're back. Are you excited to be back for a whole season?
Oh, you know
of
it,
Wild Rose. Oh, yeah. I think it's going to be so cool. And we've got special stuff happening today. We've got Mark Dvorak down from Chicago, and we also are doing a little poetry section with a poet, Thomas Rain Crow.
That's true.
And you know something about Thomas Rain Crow?
I do.
Because you watched something, didn't you?
I did indeed. I watched the Open Mic Asheville live stream on YouTube the other day.
Ooh.
And he would talk about his first introduction to his love of poetry, which was in high school when he found a book by Lawrence Ferlinghetti called Coming from San Francisco. He'd later go on to San Francisco to try to get his own poems that he had written in France and published. The first person he saw was the legendary man himself, Lawrence Ferlinghetti.
Right, who just passed away, right?
Yeah.
It's a sad loss for us. 102 years old or something like that,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Ferlinghetti would actually turn down his poems, but they'd become great friends, actually. And eventually he would obviously get published.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's like 30 books and read all over the world. His letters, his literary letters, are collected by Duke University. He's quite the guy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and we hope to have him actually on the show when things open up, so that'd be great. Well, listen, we have our very special friend and guest, Mark Dvorak, here with us today. Mark, you came all the way down from Chicago. Was it too bad of a drive this morning?
No, getting to Plymouth from Chicago is easy. It's just you get in the car and you start her up.
Yeah?
And you head east.
Yeah, you hardly even have to think about
You
it.
find 30 and
Right.
you're there.
Right,
And, it was a
right.
pleasant drive. It was the first time I've been away from home since August.
I know.
So I spent the whole day. I came down Friday, and and stayed with some friends in town here, but all morning Friday I was.
You stayed with our good friends Nancy and Dan.
Of course,
Schmelzer,
Dan
right.
Dan and Nancy.
Yeah.
They take good care of us, and but all day Friday I was scrambling around the house looking for my shaving kit and my flat picks and all my travel stuff. I think I got everything. I only had to stop at the Walgreens twice to get different things. So, but I'm ready to go now.
Well, that's
And-
good.
and it's
That's
good to be
good.
with you. It's good to be back at the moon and see everybody here and be renewed by the great energy here.
Yeah. So how has this COVID washed over you in specific ways? Once it struck, obviously you were stuck in a way. But
Yeah.
I think you've kind of done a pretty good job with it, from what I can tell on the web.
Well, we've made it this far, and of course it's something none of us have experienced before. And when the whole thing came crashing down, I had my busiest year in memory planned. And you know how it is, John and Matt, when you're touring and you're coming home and teaching and working on different projects, you're running and running and running. And then our governor in Illinois, Governor Pritzker, pulled the plug one day, and it was a Friday afternoon, and he said, Sunday, it's over, and everything came
Crashing.
screeching to a halt. And my first reaction was, oh, shucks. And my second reaction was, this might be okay, and I went to bed on Sunday night, and I had my last gig was that afternoon at a neat little cafe, and I went to bed Sunday night, and I woke up Monday around 11, had lunch, and went back to bed, and I wound up sleeping for days, and I realized how worn out and tired I was, and of course our Old Town School closed because of the pandemic, and so I hadn't taught, and then they had set up the live stream lessons, and they asked me if I wanted to participate in that, and it's only now the spring that I've come to understand how Zooms work and links work, and so I took off from that, and I decided to take the time for a sabbatical. I'd made some money and saved up, and I said, I'm just going to live like a monk. And I'm going back to study, I'm going to practice, I'm going to record, and I'm going to write. So all the things I never had time to really dig into. And so that's how I spent my time. And,
Yeah.
And so it was, that kind of work is not easy. For me, it's not. It takes a lot of struggle and thinking and walking and fair amount of cursing, and but so I've got a book coming out hopefully this spring. It's called 31 Winters. It's the subtitle is Reflections on Teaching Folk Music, and I just put together a little kind of a pamphlet of 9 poems that I have some here. I'd like to leave them with you, and so and I've been recording at home. And I found, cleaning out the garage, I found a big box of my old notebooks from the time I was 16 up until my 20s. And I'm grateful that I'm not that guy anymore, because they're just filled with all sorts of memories and stories and young anger and sadness. And so, and some of them are from even before I picked up the guitar, but I was putting lyrics. And I was like, how do you do this music thing, And so I took some of those and developed them into some new songs that I hope to release pretty soon. And the other thing I did during pandemic is I learned basic drumming.
Oh.
So I could put some thump on my
Yeah,
recordings,
yeah.
So that was my little pet project.
Well, did you bring one of these new songs with you, or do you have an older song to sing for us?
Yeah, I have. I'm dusting off some old ones today for you, and
good.
I've got one new one.
Great. Well, could we hear one?
You bet. This is called Home. I'm looking for a way to get back home. Looking back on the road stretched out behind me, wondering what this day is gonna bring. The song on the radio just reminds me, home, home, home is where my heart is. Home is where I gave my love away. The hills ahead have turned to red and gold. Wind in from the north and blowing colder. Trucks roll by, I listen to them moan. The whining wheels make me feel older. Home, home, home is where my heart is. Home is where I gave my love away. Play it, Matt. I can't believe I ever lost my way and traded all the things I loved for money. Now it feels like time has slipped away. It feels just like this road has come to own me. Home, home, home is where my heart is. Home is where I gave my love away. Home, home, home is where my heart is. Home is where I gave my love away.
That's so beautiful. You know, we're so lucky to have, to both have homes in some sense to relate to. You think what a precious commodity that is.
It sure is. You know, people have had it hard this year, and
oh yeah.
You know, I think about the silver linings with our time isolated, and but at the same time, there's families who are really struggling. There's the president came on the TV and reported how many people have lost family members due to this disease, and so it's a very humbling time.
It is a very humbling time, yeah. And you lost your mother at some point just before COVID, is that
right? Yeah, right before COVID.
We were talking about that.
Yeah.
I lost my mom during COVID.
Yeah, we're that age.
Yeah.
And she lived a good life and gave us a lot. And
you know, you're such an intriguing individual to me, and I could really probably talk the weekend away with you. But I do want to ask you a little. I had this thought in my head about the Old Town School, and I thought about, would it be proper to ask you, was it a helpful place that helped you orient your life?
Absolutely, yeah.
And could you talk a little bit about what the characteristics of the school are, which I think are very precious and I think hard to find?
Oh, yeah.
And so, could you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. When I was first learning to play, and I'd written some songs and traveling around to the open stage, and outside my little world of my buddies and friends who we played together, and you get out, you don't have to go very far and find out how deep the water is out there, you know. And I thought I could play a little blues, but here was a guy that really was on top of it. And I thought I liked old-time music, and here's a guy who's lived it. And I thought, and one day it came crashing down on me. I had all these rock and pop records, and I had Pete Seeger records, and I Lead Belly, whom I loved. And I go, but I'm trying to learn old-time music, and there's guys out there who are from Appalachia playing it. I'm trying to learn blues music, and I'm not from the Delta, you know. And so I took some lessons at the Old Town School when I was 19, and here you walk in, and there's a painting of Pete Seeger, there's a painting of Big Bill Brunsey, there's a painting of Woody Guthrie, and all of a sudden in this school, you could be from Chicago and adopt the roots of this music carried to that place by people who really know what they were doing. And the founder, one of the founders, Win Strachey, I mean, he was an activist, and he lost his career during the years of House Un-American activity, and in his spare time, he started a music school. So that gave me a place to go and learn and be a part of. Ultimately, it gave me a reason to, you know, put my clothes on in the morning and get back to work, and I've been teaching there. I haven't taught there in a year because of the shutdown, but prior to that, it's 33 years off and on, you know, teaching classes and lessons. And so, you know, it's the place I have returned to.
Yeah. Helped you orient to your songwriting.
Yeah.
Could you sing another song for us?
I'd love to. This is, I'm playing my beautiful 00028 Martin here. This is an Indiana instrument purchased in Valparaiso, Indiana at Front Porch Music. And he gave me such a deal on it. My end of the bargain was to tell everybody where I got it. Front Porch Music, Valparaiso. I'm still living up to my end of the bargain. And this is about my first Martin guitar. I'm going back to my DAT, the best guitar you ever seen. The bottom's low and the treble's clean. I'm going back to my DAT. We fell in love so long ago. You for everyone to see. And I played all night on my D18. My friends all left, or they moved away, and I hit the road and dreamed of better days. Coast to coast and scene to scene, just you and me, my D18. I joined a band and got a new guitar, a brand new show on a distant star. But now I'm going back to where I want to be. I'm going back to my D18. No triple O, no Gibson J, no Taylor Guild, no Larry Vay. I'm coming home to the one I need. I'm going back to my D18. Yes, I'm going back to my D18. The best guitar you ever seen. The bottom's low and the treble's clean. I'm going back to my D18.
Woo! I hope Martin is cutting you a big check right now. Anyway, that's great. Well, Mark, we'll be back in the last section of the show and talk with you a little bit more. Up next, we're going to have Jacob Marino read some of Thomas Rain Crow's poems, and we're going to have an instrumental piece from our own Matthew Carter Scutchfield.
With support from Judith Robert and Tom Kapazinskis, Nancy and Dan Schmelter, Marshall County Community Foundation, Marshall County Tourism, and the Friends of the Wild Rose Moon. You're listening to the Wild Rose Moon Radio Hour.
Well, welcome back to the Wild Rose Moon Radio Hour. It's so nice to have you. We're doing our first closed set recording of our Wild Rose Moon Radio Hour this year, since the COVID-19 sort of thing hit us. And we're glad to be back. We've got Mark Dvorak here, and also Jacob Marino is going to read some poems from actually a personal friend of mine. I sort of met him and learned about his famous background after I met him. He was born in Chicago, and he lived in France for a while, and he moved to San Francisco, and he was a big part of the San Francisco Renaissance in the 1970s, and that was sort of on the tail edge of the beat generation. I used to call them beatniks when I was a kid, beatniks, but the San Francisco Beats. And there he befriended Jack Hirschman and Lawrence Ferlinghetti, and he worked for Beatitude magazine. He helped found the San Francisco Poetry Festival, published over 30 books. He's quite an interesting guy, and his work has been translated. And anyway, I'm still in touch with him, and I thought, why not do some of his poems? So Jacob Marino and I were working all week on these poems, trying to get them down. And I've got a little flute here, flute music that I'm going to put with him, and Jacob's going to read, and we'll see how it goes, okay?
Let's see.
All right.
This first poem is called The Perfect Work by Thomas Raincrow. Love is the perfect work, a music which rings all the bells in the temple, a special wind in the trees. Listen to the way the drummer hits lovingly his drum, the way the dancer moves over the warm earth, and watch as children leave their bodies behind on the old logs around the fire and sing. The world is aglow in the shadows of the children singing, of the sticks against wood, of the heavy silent breathing of the old ones who sit off to the sides of the circle and pray. When I am at work in my garden, I take off my shoes. I let my other hands embrace dirt. I plant myself in this place, and knowing what love is, I awake. In this place, in my body, full of dream music, full of life. This next poem is called The Idiot's Wind by Thomas Raincrow, and it begins with a quote by Bob Dylan entitled Idiot Wind. Idiot wind, blowing down the back roads heading south. It's a wonder that you still know how to breathe. Is this the best we can do? Turn wonderful air into a hurricane of haze? Turn landscape and vistas into pictures painted for the blind? Fill pink lungs of children with blank space. Make soot we breathe, surreal salt in the food of film noir, for profit and at any price. Is this the best we can do? From a pile of coal, make heat? Make light from a hill of peat? From hellbent to heartache, hookers of energy in bed with the rich? The blood of the poet in a Blue Ridge ditch? For profit and at any price? Is this the best we can do? Stay cool in the face of fire, the gift of mankind, an eternal pyre, for profit and at any price? Hands and head in a vice, denying nature not 2 times, but thrice. Fanning the flames of dry ice, use poison in food and calling it spice. For what profit? What price? Is this the best we can do? Take transfusions of blood in the air? Honor madmen and government not really there? Who call the rain sunshine and the circle square? For profit and at any price? Is this the best we can do? Only an idiot would try to make love to the wind, would inhale oxygen and call it CO2, or think sun and moon would come from some Yahweh living in another place, would kiss the lips of bombs and call them sweet, or move their home to somewhere in outer space. This is grace? This, the human race? We can do better than this. This last poem is called Learning to Dance by Thomas Rain Crow. I am disappearing into the side of her body, which when it lifts and turns also moves the earth. I have given up the toys of my childhood and my ambitions for old age, and have moved deep within the walls of her silver skin. I am through with my love of suffering and the words that describe that love. I am going to carry on a magnificent affair with the wind from the inside of her body where we both sleep. Friends, I am going deeper, even deeper inside than the animal or a blade of grass. I am looking for the stones that lay to the side and in the bed of the great river. Among those stones, there is only one rock with my name. I will pick it up and hold it high above my head. In the inner light, I will know many things. Outside, with her body, she is teaching the world to dance.
Very nice, Jacob. Lovely poems. That was fun to do the first time we tried something like that, so that was exciting. And now, Matthew Carter Scotchfield is going to give you an instrumental piece of music that he's got here. And Matthew is a new addition to the Moon. He's in a short time, he's booted himself up the ladder to executive producer. So he comes from the renowned Berklee School of Music, graduated from Berklee School of Music, and he happened to have graduated from Plymouth High School. And we are so lucky to have him here, stranded a bit by the COVID experience, and now he is helping us out. Matthew, tell us a little bit about yourself and this piece.
First you mentioned banjo, but I actually think guitar would be more appropriate for.
Did I say banjo?
No. You in the past you suggested banjo, but that's loud and cantankerous, so I thought I'd play the guitar instead. But I will just say that there's only one person responsible for me even holding this guitar right now, and that's Tony Rice. And I don't know if it's COVID directly, but we lost him at the end of last year. And it just made all of us in the bluegrass guitar community realize, how much influence he had, and how much it's easy to not appreciate that, almost every single day until you lose somebody. And after that, it's like, we went and restudied the albums we listened to 1 million times, and then we listened to them 1 million more times. And so I've been doing that. Unfortunately, a lot of his material is not public domain, which would get us into a little trouble. So I'm going to do two pieces into one that he did a lot that are both traditional folk tunes, and I think, George, you'll recognize both of them right off the bat, so, which is not often I can do something that's quite familiar like that.
Matthew Carter Scutchfield. Very nice. Our very own. And you want me to name those two tunes, don't you?
Yeah.
I'm looking to my friend Mark Dvorak to see if he knows the answer. But what were the two tunes that...
The first one, of course, was Shady Grove,
Yes.
the old Appalachian ballad. And I was looking at the brick that time. I was wondering what the second tune was. And my final answer is Darcy Farrow.
2 for 2.
All right.
You got it.
All right, there you go. We did play a game show, Nate. See? Well, oh yeah. We got to give something to Mark. As soon as COVID's over, I'll give you a big kiss.
I'll take another coffee.
Okay, here I could get you a coffee. Okay, all right. Well, up next we have Mark Dvorak, and we're excited to hear a few more songs from him, and I can't wait.
With support from Judith Robert and Tom Kapazinskis, Nancy and Dan Schmelter, Marshall County Community Foundation, Marshall County Tourism, and the Friends of the Wild Rose Moon. You're listening to the Wild Rose Moon Radio Hour.
Well, welcome back to the Wild Rose Moon Radio Hour, our inaugural journey together after COVID-19 shut us down for about 5 months, was it? 5 months, something like that. So I think we stopped recording in November, was that right? November, and we're just getting back up, and so we're excited, and we talked Mark Dvorak, incredible Chicago troubadour, down to share some songs with us. This is your third trip here to the Wild Rose Moon Radio Hour.
Yes, it is.
And we're so happy to have you. And I wanted to ask you a question. You've done a yeoman's job keeping certain songwriters out there, sort of in circulation, like Pete Seeger and Woody Guthrie and Huddy Ledbetter and various people. And so, what is it that is it the songs that catch you first, the person, the mix of the two? What grabs you in a song?
Well, back when I was first listening to Woody and Pete and the great Leadbelly, the thing that grabbed me is these were not kids; these were men, and music was their life, and the evidence of each of these guys' journey was the path I wanted to try to find and follow down. And I remember listening to Bob Dylan. I wanted to be Bob Dylan, you know.
Yeah, who didn't?
And he sang that one of the first songs he wrote, "Song to Woody," and Bob sang in his verse, "Here's to Cisco and Sonny and Leadbelly too, and all the good people who have traveled with you." And I knew the name Leadbelly. I knew the name Cisco Houston, and so I went and looked him up and got their records and listened to their music. And when I listened to Bob again, it's as if he was opened a door for me.
Yeah.
Standing there. Come on through. Find out who these guys are.
Yeah.
And I did. And
follow me.
And so and one thing leads to another. And when I started out writing my own songs and learning popular tunes that my friends all loved, and that path took me away from all of that, and over these years, it all circles back.
Yeah.
Just like your opening song, it starts again,
Yeah.
And so now I'm not a kid anymore, and I've got my own voice now for writing and singing, and so it starts again, all new, and that's where I want to keep digging, keep
Yeah.
working.
Well, it's so it's written in everything you do, every one of your songs, your the way you handle yourself in business, even. It's just remarkable. You learned a lot from all those experiences.
Learned a lot from you as well.
Oh, thank you. Hey, can you do another song for us?
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear one.
This one I started writing just about 4 years ago, and the afternoon of January 7th, I was able to finish it, and in these highly charged times, it's easy to place blame. It's easy to talk about others, and I decided to take myself to task, and I was able to finally finish this song. I don't want to be that man. I don't want to be that man. Tonight I take a stand. I don't want to be that man. I can't live with all this hate. That's not who I am, and I hope that it's not too late. I don't want to be that man. Oh, I have no use for greed. I get by as best as I can. I know what it is that I need. I don't want to be that man. I don't want to be that man. I don't want to be that man. Tonight I take a stand. I don't want to be that man. Violence goes on without end. Some just don't give a damn. I choose peace instead, 'cause I don't want to be that man. I don't want to turn my head. I want to reach out with both of my hands. This time I won't be misled. I don't want to be that man. Sing it out now. I don't want to be that man. I don't want to be that man. Tonight I take a stand. I don't want to be that man. Oh, the hour is getting late. There's so much I don't understand. I want to help make America great, but I don't want to be that man. I don't want to be that man. I don't want to be that man. Tonight I take a stand. I don't want to be that man. Tonight I take a stand.
Powerful, powerful message there. That's interesting. It's a song that one can kind of project from your other songs. It's like you can see that developing in I don't know when you said 4 years ago or 5.
That's when I wrote the title down.
Yeah, the title, but
Yeah.
then you worked on it over that time. That's great.
Yeah, well, it all came rushing down
Yeah.
on the events of January 6th.
Right.
Like a lot of people, I was watching the TV, wondering what was going on, and I already knew it was going on, but you know, I felt anger, I felt sadness, and I thought, you know what? I have friends who are conservative, I have friends who are liberal, and I just made a decision. I know what I'm not going to do.
Right.
And I know what I want to be, and
Yeah.
and let the rest of it fall away, because
I think
I choose peace.
yes, and for me, I've always felt that way too. It's interesting. I feel that creative process, regardless of how it emerges from an individual, if it's sort of treasured and cared for and watered and fed, you know. And really, I think it takes a community often to do that. Not everyone. Some people can just, like Bob Dylan, although he made community, obviously, he felt community with everything he touched, you know.
Right.
But he had that deep sense within him. But some people need, you know, they might have difficult family situations or not have a family at all. And people need community. School of folk music are so important. And Berkeley School of Music and, you know, various arts camps around the country and around the world where people come together and are able to share their creativity.
That's right. And
At whatever level they come in at.
exactly
Too.
right. We learn from each other.
Right. And that's the kind of, I think, by doing that, I think we can make a much more peaceful, hopeful world.
That's the direction, right?
Yeah.
And I think the folk arts are
A point of
community
access.
is
Yeah.
essential to the folk arts, where you know, a cello player can go study with a master and then lock himself up and play Bach better than anybody. And you know, there's an individual side to all art, but folk music, I think, starts on a social plateau. You know,
It's about inviting everyone
yeah,
in.
it's like a potluck supper.
Yeah.
and you know, everybody brings something. Everybody.
That's where I met Pete Seeger.
Yeah,
at
you
Potluck
bet.
Supper.
That's no accident, you know.
Yeah. That's wild. And you met him too? We've talked about Pete
Yep.
in the past, and you keep his music alive. I see that online. You're always doing stuff with his work. What have you got anything coming up or something?
Well, things are slowly picking up again, and most of my concerts are online. I'm going to go down to Southern Illinois next month to play a live thing at a beautiful historic center down there in Mount Vernon. And I'm going to be in Ludington, Michigan this summer for a live thing, and it's the list is on my website, markdvorak.com. And the beauty of Zoom is you can be in Green Bay, Wisconsin, in your pajamas and watch a concert. You know, so
Right.
and you know, so I have a few of those coming up too.
Yeah. Do another song for us.
I'd love to, and I want to invite both Matt and John to accompany.
John Baylor, I forgot
John
to.
Baylor, that's right. The great John Baylor. Time ain't got nothing on me. Sometimes I get lonesome for you, and the blues, they won't let me be. I strain in the darkness to see Time ain't got nothing on me. Most of the time I'm so worried and sad. The rest of the day ain't so bad. And when I push through all this debris, time ain't got nothing on me. Look through the window and see all that light shining for me. There ain't nothing to do but believe. Time ain't got nothing on me. John Baylor. Come on, Matt, pick it up. I'll look through the window and see all that light shining for me. There ain't nothing to do but believe. Time ain't got nothing on me.
What a beautiful song. You know, I'm looking at the clock and I'm thinking, I want to hear another one. So would you mind just going right on?
Love to. This is kind of a bluegrass tune based on the beautiful Wendell Berry book, J. Burr Crow, and the Port William membership. This is called a good song for springtime, the Bluebells in Kentucky. The other night, so real it must be true. I dreamed of southern sunshine, the bluegrass state, and you. We were walking by the river and we heard a cuckoo sing when the bluebells in Kentucky were blooming in the spring. Headed down to J. Burr's, we kicked the mud off of our shoes. I got me a brand new haircut, and we caught up on all the news. And I bought a big red soda from the downtown pop machine when the bluebells in Kentucky were blooming in the spring. Come on, John. We strolled alongside Katie's branch to the Coulter old home place. Talked about the hard times and the loved ones we embraced. Oh, we laughed and joked and teased the girls and sat on the front porch swing when the bluebells in Kentucky were blooming in the spring. Here's Matt. Let's play, Matt. 2, 3, go. wandered off to the shade of the old growth trees. Mist coming off the river like a sacred veil it seemed. You took my hand and your eyes replied to some unspoken thing when the bluebells in Kentucky were blooming in the spring. Oh, I had a dream the other night, so real it must be true. I dreamed of southern sunshine, the bluegrass state, and you. We were walking by the river and we heard a cuckoo sing when the bluebells in Kentucky were blooming in the spring. When the bluebells in Kentucky were blooming in the spring.
I'll drink a little bourbon to that.
Say again?
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. Well, Mark Dvorak, thank you so much for joining us today and being the kickoff for our year of the Wild Rose Moon Radio
Well,
Hour.
thank you all for being here and making me so welcome in Plymouth. It's always a highlight to come on back.
Good. Well, I hope we can have you back before the year ends. I hope your
Beautiful.
schedule allows that.
I'm sure it will.
Good. Good. Okay.
With support from Judith Robert and Tom Kapazinskis, Nancy and Dan Schmelter, Marshall County Community Foundation, Marshall County Tourism, and the Friends of the Wild Rose Moon. You've been listening to the Wild Rose Moon Radio Hour.
Thanks so much, Jacob, and thanks to Mark Dvorak for driving down from Chicago, sharing his wonderful talents on our radio show. Thanks also to Thomas Rain Crow for allowing us to share and read his poems. And thanks to John Baylor and Matthew Carter Scotchfield for accompanying Mark and Matthew for playing your song. Thanks for the talented Ryan Meir, right as I gesture, just out here he's out with his first album, by the way. He's running the Mevo production of our radio show on Facebook, and Matthew Bergmoser over here, our photographer, Howard Gibbs, our incredible stage manager, Marcia Heitzberger, Jennifer Reed, our hospitality team, and Michelle Schricker for her undying support of the Moon and its mission, and me. Also, a big thanks to our board of directors for doing such a great job this year with our membership campaign. Thank you so much. It's really made a difference. John, are you prepared to spring those strings into blossom?
They'll be blooming, George.
Good. Mark, you want to help us?
Yeah.
Okay.
The lightning strikes, the thunder rolls, the wind it howls, oh it takes a toll up to my neck in mud and muck. It won't be long till I'm unstuck.
The river goes round, round the bend. The river goes round, round, round till the very end. Until it stops, it starts again. It won't be long till the river goes round.
So when you think you've lost that light, oh, pain and heartache fill your soul with strife.
Yeah.
Just remember, as you're tumbling down, it won't be long till the river goes round.
Everybody! The river goes round, around the bend. River goes round, round, round till the very end. And when it stops, oh, it starts again. It won't be long till the river goes round. Won't be long till the river goes round and round and round. And thanks to our producer, Nate Butler.